Okay. Today, what we are just going to see, it's like ethics to become a productive AI engineer. Okay. And I hope it's been our 40th day, right?
42.
42. Okay, okay. So great. And during this 42, like we have a quite picture about what is AI and what we really do, how organization can convert it into AI, and how somebody can kickstart an AI. We have seen so many topics like machine learning, computation, NLP, deep learning, and so on. Okay, and TensorFlow and image recognition, object detection, and everything else. Okay, but right now we do still we don't have confident about like what is the mistake we be doing. Okay, and during the period of time, like whenever I make sure every for in the beginning, it's good to have some quiet picture about it. Okay, so and then later it will be easy to correct our mistakes. So today we just teach you to help you out what are the mistakes we be like going without, how we can retrieve our mistakes and how we can kickstart into productivity. Okay, and that's what today's session is about. So first, the first thing about getting kicking start into AI and everything else. First, we need to understand what type of learner you are. So that's what our first topic. It's like understand what type of learner and programmer you are. And our second topic, it's like don't skip away from numbers in today's world. Okay. And third, never hype about AI. Okay. And fourth, just master the command prompt skill under the installation and so on. And fifth, to have an habit of exploring and underscore. And sixth is going to be like explore and understand the pipeline of understand the pipelines, documents, and guidelines of every libraries and packages. Okay. So here now we get into our first topic. It's like understand what type of learner and programmer you are. Okay. In the beginning, like if you take during our school and college days, and we study something for over the time again and again. Like for example, if you study one paragraph or essay or a 10-mark question or 20-mark question, or in, we study for once. For example, we can take maths so easily. Um, while doing some calculus or linear algebra or whatever it is, like a problem, and we our education system made us like we need to do imposition of problems. Okay, the more we read, the more we try out the each program for 5 times or 10 times. Then only on the 11th time, our brain will get comfort about like, okay, now I can do this problem. Now I can solve this problem so perfectly. Okay, so we always like a reinforcement learning. Whatever we do, our Indian system education, whatever it is like, we all learn under an algorithm called reinforcement learning, which we studied in machine learning. I hope you would have an idea about reinforcement learning, right? Anybody have an idea, right? We already seen reinforcement learning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so it's like we learn through errors. So same way, whatever we does, whatever the action we just go through, we all learn through errors. Okay, so while learning, we just needed to understand what type of observer we are. Okay, for example, I'm watching 5 lines of paragraph. I'm reading a 5 lines of a paragraph or a essay or 5 minutes of a video. Okay, I'm making sure that my observation skill, it's like in the 5 minutes I'm bringing something, uh some passages around like 4.5 minutes. Okay, that is the, are you that type of observer or not? For example, if you studying some 5 lines of a poem or 5 lines of a article or a news. Okay, you need to make sure that out of 5 lines you bringing something going with your observation skill, you'll be going much detailer. Okay, we'll be understanding how much detailer you are and how observing you are. Okay, and how much you're bringing out of it. So that is like one type of observer. And the second time, it's the second person will be like out of 5 lines, they can bring the context about in 2 lines itself. Okay, and the third observer will be like out of 5 lines, they can bring the context in 1 line itself or 2 words or 3 words itself. Okay, so people come up with a short form and they bring the nuances about what is it and what is really going on. Okay, so based on this observer, so this is also help us to understand the programming. While learning programming, what people think, uh, I'm doing a variable. They never mention when I'm writing x is equal to 5, okay, or x is equal to 5.9, or when it comes to variable, they will say it's a variable. They never go in detail. Hey, I'm using x as a value with a variable, and with the key, and the value will be like 5. And again, they can say this is an x, this is a floating variable with the key value of x. With the key x, and with the value of 5.4 or in decimals and so on. We need to make sure this is an ethics of a programmer. So we need to observe the programming so deeply and detailedly. So it will be easy in the beginning to make yourself like a ethical good programmer to where they can get in an organization. Okay. So when it comes to programming, and everybody will be good with the basics, like they all study C, C++, Java, and so on. While they kicking start in Python and programming R, it will be easy. They can kickstart in if they spend 8 hours per day into next 5 or 6 days, they can easily complete the basics of Python in 4 to 5 days itself. Okay, so if somebody is able to study the complete nuances of the basic programming, basic Python in 4 to 5 days itself, then immediately the next there will be one category of a learner. Okay, and immediately after the sixth day, if he able to create some quite advance of creative programming, so on, and be able to create his own loop and able to create his own function, and started to play around the programming, then he's a creative programmer. Okay, and the second person will be like easy, and he also know basics and everything else, but when it comes to programming, he just do only whatever it is existing. He doesn't do any creative programming and all. Okay, he just do whatever existing coding and whatever it is static in the Google and the HackerRank and the Stack Overflow. So through this, he pull up the codes and so on. Okay, but this guy will code in a quite faster way. Okay, and the third person will be like they also a creative and static programmer. They also do existing and static programmer, but they also do very slow. Like for example, the type 2 person is doing whichever for 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Then the type 3 person will be like taking 25 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes to do whatever is even to retrieve the existing and static programming. Okay. And the fourth person will be like they are so good at technical, they know with every technical terms, and as per the theoretical, they must be so good at it. Okay. But when it comes to practical, these guys are like totally lazy, and as well as like they doesn't so productive and practical and all. Okay, they not made for practical stuff, but these guys like so in technical. So where they can, if they're pulling up a documentation or pipeline to make to read to write the read lines and everything, these guys will be like so good at it. So when it comes to programming, we need to understand what type of programmer you are and what type of learner you are, and based on that we can kickstart in like into AI and the programming and so wait. Okay, and I like to show you something. See, when it comes to seeing the program, so the basic which help you out, it's like if I'm taking any Armstrong number program, they're doing a Python program to check an Armstrong number.
Ashwin, can you mute on your machine? Ashwin?
Okay. Here, a normal person sees a program like it's a designed by Python program. Okay. But if you truly a programmer, you just see this as a paragraph. You see this as an essay. Okay. You need to define it. Here, I'm seeing an uh, input gathering variable with the key value of en, and we converting into integer, and we calling the we uh, we convert and we entering a number, and then like again we listing out with variable a, and then we again we listing out with the variable b with the map and the lambda. So people just paragraph the coding, so that's why it's easy to like they write the read lines and so on while doing the program, so this will just totally help them out. Okay, and I want to. The second thing will be like a lot of programmers in the beginning when they're kicking start into AI, they just kind of scared at numbers. They kind of scared at again AI and machine learning is all about mathematics, stats, and then calculus and so on. Okay, but in today's world, like I want to show you some samples. Could you able to see the picture? No?
We are still seeing the Jupiter.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Now we see.
Okay. I'm showing one report. It's a hair report of myself. I just went dermatologist. Could you able to see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I recently went for made a hair consultation for a dermatologist. I was just checking about my scalp and make sure I'm how to avoid a dandruff. So that's why it's just known. So you know what? No, the dermatologist put a camera with a sensor, and she just reading out my scalp that how affected is my scalp, and she is just doing all the analytics through camera. She doesn't sound anything much and so on. She just checking this is just a dandruff and so on. You don't need to worry about it. But after 10 or 15 minutes, then she's getting the report in her hand. Okay, through camera, she just checked, and the report just stated that with all the statistical information, could you able to see in numbers here? You could. This is completely a dashboard of my report. Okay, so here I'm getting a graph here.
Yeah.
So, and they made an analytics here. And here they have a conditions: loaded image, artifact correction, detection nature, defining areas, noise reduction, detection hairs. These all like camera techniques to understand the deductions and edge points. Okay. So every results, every conditions they on the right here they have conditions of numbers which to be targeted, and they have gradients. And after that, the final report will be like they are saying that the doctor, through this condition, she just analyzing that what is the right way of medication you need to take, and how long you need to take, and how much it is affected, how much is not affected. And she just helping me out through these numbers. Even doctors are like talking about everything in numbers these days. Okay, then I just got to know that even in foreign current, it's been on the year 2018. Okay, I just understood that previously before 2000, where our world, if somebody is like finished their school, if they're getting into work, and everybody, it's good to have everyone as having a degree. Okay, that was a basic foundation skill. Okay, but after 2010, every corporate will see you once you're getting into a job. Everybody seeing that you having a degree, and then English communication skill, and then third will be like any computer skill. Okay, computer handling skill. Okay, this is like a mandatory, whether you are a biology or either you are a doctor or either you are a musician or whatever it is. Like this is getting a basic skill during the year 2010. Okay, but after 2020, our world is our world is changing to that every person must have a degree, and then English communication skill, and then computer handling skill, and then programming skill. It could be either Python or R, or else with the Python skill, and they're looking for a data analytics or visualization skill. Okay, so everybody needs to understand uh, they need to analyze the data. So they're making sure that they're applying the analytical skill into their field of physics, in the field of chemistry, or in the field of biology, doctorate, medicine, whatever it is. Everybody started applying the analytical skill. in today's education and in today's world. So this is like a basic skill for the next 2020 to 2030 for every person who's getting into a job. Okay. So that's why in today's world we can't get away from numbers. Okay. And if you would just challenge yourself that still you worry about numbers, like imagine the doctors, everybody's again they avoided maths in their during their uh, school or college in the during the school, but again during the college they're learning the basic physics, and then they're reading medical physics, medical chemistry, again the basic statistics for medicines. Okay, so they are learning again, they're getting into mathematics. Again, they also learning some analytical skill for medicine. Okay, and they also quite having an idea about like because they also using more technology than us. Okay, so they just make sure that what type of technology they are using, how the understanding that for example if it's cancer or if you treating your diabetes or whatever it is, like you we have seen the if we've seen the report, it's like it's always based on numbers. Okay, so people consult, they just talk in numbers and then we go in numbers. So that's how the world is goes, so that's why we can't get away from numbers. Okay, and also every the more professional in the ambitious learner in the field of medicine or in the field of physics or architecture, they all learning big data, they are learning big data skills, and then they acquiring big data skills, and then they also acquiring analytics and basic cloud research, basic cloud skills to people who wants to do in the field of research or PhD into their code. Okay, so that's the reason why in today's world we can't get away from numbers. Okay. And the third thing will be like never hype AI. Okay. So we can say, oh, AI, this guys must be genius and these guys coding so good at programming and blah 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 and so on. We just hype these people like different genius category or different Jewish category in the market. Okay. But the reality is like AI programmer are the most laziest programmer. If you learn how to use Google and if you know how to copy paste anything, everything, and if you're so good with English, you can do anything in AI. Okay, all you just see yourself is like forget about what is machine learning, forget about what is compression NLP or algorithm ADA boost or whatever you seen the algorithms. Okay, forget about everything. When it confronted you, you just see it like a Python program and it's a essay. Then you just converting into it and you targeting up the numbers and you building a product and then labeling up. So that's it. So never hype the AI. Okay, because in the beginning stage, why people also differentiate AI into a lot of terms. Like there will be a separate course for machine learning. They will every education institute created a separate course like Great Learnings. They created a separate course for machine learning, computation, NLP, deep learning. They all separated and they tagged it different. Okay, but when it comes to reality, it's like it's all like a chain. Okay, so when they team up with they will be first data exploratory people. Okay, data engineering team will be there where they explore what type of data you have through this data, and they will be what we can do with this data and what we can target with this data, and they make conditions over it. And then the third team will be like they clean the data, and then fourth team will be like they pre-processing the data, and then after pre-processing the data they know what we are going to achieve. Okay, so and what type of target we need to go with that. They have some plans and pipelines about what type of data they have, and they what type of data through data what they really need to report it. So that's why feature engineering they create that's where data science, machine learning, unsupervised supervised, and these guys were coming in. Okay, so these guys write code and algorithm in Jupyter Notebook and so on, and they started to train the data over there. Okay, they design. I mean, our senior team members will design, and the juniors will be like they just train the data, they store the data, and they create a name of it. That's it. Okay, and after they done it, they model the data and then they also visualize it that data. Okay, so this is like a basic. So somebody so good with again they acquire all the basic skill, and then if they're going so much into stats, mathematics, and if they like to go with more and more on algorithm and so on, they can get into field of complete machine learning. This is the place where like everybody do the creative program, customized programming for themselves to target what type of data they are and what they really need to achieve on the analytics terms and so on. Okay. And when it comes to deep learning, computation, NLP, uh, people don't need to worry about like much. So that's where like a Hugging Face is coming. So where they don't write any machine learning codes. Okay. Here, if you see models, people don't write any machine learning codes or deep learning codes and so on. Okay. Here, every deep learning codes, every big corporates like train the data in the backend. Okay. So they have trained the data in the backend and they create a model. Here, we can easily use this model as a library and we can run and achieve the task. Okay. So for multi-model, they have a feature, the extraction, text to image and image to text conversion, and then text to video, video or visual question answering, and document question answering and so on. So for computer vision, if we wanted to analyze this, the object detection and so on. Here we can say depth estimation means, for example, if you take marine data, okay, every marine data photos will be like so dark, right? So we understand the convention and we seplicate the pictures, and then like they do multiply the conversion in matrix and they build the code. So here when it comes to, we can usually use this model and we can run and train it so easily. So we don't need about like algorithm behind the mathematics or behind the stats or whatever it is. Okay. These guys made it in a few lines of code. We can use the library and we can run it up. And the fourth skill will be like just master with command prompt and understanding the installation. This is the part where that everybody will get nervous. They study the concept, they study they know what it is, model, library, dictionaries, and then like the algorithm they're going to use or what things. Okay. But when it comes to installation, like everybody still a lot of people like struggle to go with the command prompt, like how we can tackle command prompt and these skills. If we truly master these skills, it's like we can run any program. Like for example, to master these skills, like I advise you to go on YouTube, find the YouTube influencers in AI and then in the field of machine learning or so on. And you just see and check, you just try out, have an habit of exploring their codes and so on. Every YouTube videos like vloggers, they have keep mentioning about their videos, and they also share their source codes in their description. Okay, if you see, they could have shared a data set link, or they also share the GitHub links and so on. You need to start exploring their codes and then try to replicate the codes and then run it. So the more you start running the other codes, then the more you can sort out your command prompt installations, and then you can be having your own command prompt like tactical skills for you can handle any errors on it. Okay. So yeah, and the five I've said, you have an habit of exploring other codes because it will be easy to because the more you see, the more you can have an idea about. So it will be easy to code, and you'll be writing a functional code so easily. Okay. And then the sixth one will be like after you exploring, and then you need to understand the pipelines. Okay. And the documentation and guidelines. So for example, if you take any GitHub codes, and these guys will be like writing their pipelines. Okay. So, or even the Hugging Face will be having the pipelines and documents. Okay. So if I click, I wanted to go with depth estimation, and then I have an Intel model that's large. Okay. They have their documentation to be studied. Okay. And then you could see a model up for fine tune. Okay. So there will be blog and everything so on. And if you take Kaggle also, they'll be having a model and documentation for it. If you take already the predefined models, you could see toxic spam detections, which is designed by. So here you'll be understanding the input, like the input output, and then limitations, and then the NLP they've used and so on. Okay, so everything will be detailed. So if you more understand if you truly understand the documentation pipeline and exploring other scopes, okay, and explaining also exploring others errors, it will be this is where you can succeed as a productive AI engineer in today's market. And that's it for the guys. And you have any questions today?